Good morning, everybody. Good morning and happy June. It is amazing to me that we have reached June. Good morning, Libby. Peace be with you. Peace be with all of you today. It's a new month. It's a new day. It's a new opportunity. Oh, good morning, Carrie. Thank you for being here. It's a new. That's what I got to say. It's a new. Good morning, Dottie, and peace be with all of you as well. Cheers. Welcome to Tea Talk Tuesday, aka Coffee and Conversation. Just a little bit of what faith in real life has to offer. So good morning, Gina. Good morning, Dawn. Peace be with you. It is wonderful to be with you. So yeah, what did you guys do this weekend? We didn't have anybody here yesterday to say, how did you see God this weekend? So I would love to know that myself. If you want to drop that in the comment, where did you see God, or how did you see God working this particular weekend? And especially this weekend, while we had the long weekend and we were celebrating Memorial Day. It's been such an interesting kind of season, I guess, for me, because this Memorial Day, more than any other Memorial Day in the past, has had a lot more, I don't know if meaning is the right word. It's always had the same meaning to me. But I think because of the past year that we've been in and everything that we have been going through, there have been a lot of memorial services that are happening now. And as a music minister, we're, being asked to do a lot of memorial services of people who passed away during the pandemic when there were so many restrictions that family couldn't gather. And so now we're having these memorial services and people are coming together in larger groups. And it's been interesting. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Cindy. Let's see, Carrie said, first bigger part of the long story, my brother had a luau. Oh, how fun. It was nice seeing people I haven't seen. I wish I'd have known you had a luau. I just threw away coconut cups and leis and grass skirts and the whole 9 yards as we were cleaning out our basement. I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to use these. All that stuff, all those memories, as we're talking about memorial and just all the memories. As we're going to be selling our house. The first couple is coming through the house tomorrow. So prayers, fingers crossed, we're starting. Ready or not. I thought, I'm just never going to feel like I'm truly ready. Just looking out the window, looking at the gardens, looking at my yard, the house, like I'm never going to feel like I'm ready. But I think if somebody comes here and they know that this is to be their next home, they'll know. They'll get past my clutter. But grass skirts had to go. So I'm glad that you had that experience, Carrie. Cheers to that. Cheers to the luau. I'm so grateful that my husband and I got to take that trip to Hawaii just before the pandemic hit, because it was just such a wonderful, wonderful experience. So these memorial services, right? There was a couple of them that, everybody was gathering in the church and, it's time to start. And it's so loud in there. Everybody is talking and hugging and, just really enjoying seeing each other. Like Carrie was saying, being able to get together and see people that you haven't seen in a long time. And I knew this was going to be truly a beautiful celebration of life. All right. And it truly was. For as much laughter as there was as much tears. It was truly a celebration of this beautiful person's life. And I remember, I think I may have said this before, I'm not sure, but I think it bears repeating. There are a lot of music ministry people out there that it is, funerals and memorial services, weddings, all the different weekend services. It's their job, right? And sometimes we forget to take joy from our jobs, our field, the things that we're called to do, whatever that our vocations, we sometimes set aside the joy because to us it becomes mundane. Just another funeral, just another memorial service, just another mass, just another, right? Um, maybe you're in insurance. It's just another claim. Maybe you're a tax accountant, just another person's taxes, right? But when you can get invested in their life and you can, for just a snapshot of time, step into the life of the person who you are working for or working with at that moment, it makes it so much more beautiful, for me anyway, and so much more meaningful, right? I actually consider it a huge honor to be in those moments, being able to share my music, right? Being able to sing to the best of my ability, being able to, just worship in a time when people are hurting, in a time when they may feel a little bit lost, like I can't even imagine my life without this person. And here I am saying goodbye, for the last time perhaps. And I know that many, many people on Memorial Day, they go to visit grave sites. They put flowers, they remember. They take time to remember the life, and not just military. I mean, we know obviously why Memorial Day is a thing, but it is not just for the soldiers that sacrificed for us and for our freedom. It is a time to remember all of those who've been in our life and who've made an impact, right? And so at this one particular memorial service just last week, I had to really I tried playing a few songs thinking maybe, they would quiet down because you don't want to be rude, right? And talk over the singer. And then I made an announcement and I welcomed everybody, and pastor's in the back and he's like, I don't know what you want me to do at this point. Like, can everybody please take their seats? Can I, so finally I just addressed it. I was like, good morning, welcome. We are so glad to have you here. It's wonderful that you are obviously reconnecting, haven't seen each other, but let's not forget why we are here. Sit down. No, that's not how I said it, of course, but that was pretty much the implication. But what a celebration. And, my pastor, he does a really good job of getting to know things about the family members ahead of time. And he weaves in, some history of the person whose life we are celebrating at that memorial service or that funeral. I mean, it's really beautiful. And then, so I get to hear a little snippet of their life at that time. And then, of course, when there's a eulogy, I cry probably during every eulogy because I see the tears of the loved ones who are saying goodbye, right? And I, most of the time, I've never met any of these people. And yet, I always am filled with a sense of gratitude for their life, for the fact that they were here. And I look out into the congregation and I look at all of the people's lives that they touched. And for me, that was one of the saddest things about doing funerals during the pandemic, is that there were so few people there because of restrictions, not because they didn't have many people who love them, but because of restrictions. And so it's been a beautiful thing for me to see people being able to come back and really celebrate life. So let me see. I gave you guys lots of time to tell me how you got this weekend. Yep. Let's see. Don says, with the Miracle League of Lake County Athletes Memorial Day Parade in Wickliffe. Oh yeah. That's one thing I didn't even know if there were really parades going on. We tend to camp on Memorial Weekend. We snuck away for just under 24 hours. Take the camper out, get it ready for the season, dewinterize it, get the water going, vacuum, clean, all the good things. I managed to get one four-wheeler ride in with my sister, and managed to take a little hike and enjoy some beauty and some nature. And I needed that. I'd been getting a little out of balance. I see, I've set up my little corner here. I see my dream catching surfboards in the corner. Well, there. My surfboards, compliments of Let Me Be Ministries, thank you. And my Skittles and oranges over here on this side. And those Skittles and oranges are reminded, those oranges represent the things that we need to do every day to push us toward the life that we desire, toward what we believe is the life that God has created us for, right? And the Skittles are all the little things that we have to do every day, all the things that occupy all of our time every day, the have tos and the just we dids, like the social media and the TVs, right? But all the other things, the prepping of meals and the picking up of kids and the running the here and there and everywhere and grocery shopping and errands and cleaning, those all have to get done, right? But the oranges are the things that are going to move the needle in your life. And so it's a little demonstration that we do in the workshops. And so they're just there because my workshops have all been on Zoom. Yeah, the Luau fundraiser. How ironic is that? That's what the surfboards were from, and probably Chuck made them. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure Chuck made them. So thank you, Chuck. Cheers. So today I wanted to talk about leaving of a legacy, because that is what Memorial Day is really about. It's the legacy left behind by those who sacrificed for us so that we could, of course he did, Libby, so that we can have the freedoms that we have, so that we can live in this country that many people complain about all the time, but it is still a very blessed place to live. Okay. And it's because of the sacrifice of others. It's the legacy that they left behind for us. And 1 week from yesterday, my new company launches. And one of the things that we talk about in this new company is that we are building a legacy for future generations, not just for our family, but for those around us. Our plan is to impact 1 billion lives in 7 years. It's a lot of lives. And I know I've said it before, right? It's a lot of lives. And what the legacy that this is leaving behind is one of beautiful, balanced living. It's lives that take care of the things that matter: your fitness, your family, your friends, your finance, so on and so forth. That is the legacy that we are building to pass on to our families, our children, to change the world, really. Because if everybody in the world, or at least 1 billion more people than are doing it right now, are living truly balanced lives, where debt isn't out of control anymore and obesity isn't, on the rise continually, and more illnesses and diseases and all of these things, what would our world look like? But if these men and women who went and fought for our country hadn't done that, what would our country look like? Where would we be right now if people hadn't made sacrifices, if people hadn't changed themselves and the world around us, right? So that's what we're all about. And as a missionary, this new company just fit perfectly as an extension or an arm of that ministry, because it is so much about what I personally am about and what I want my legacy to be. When I looked up the word legacy, I actually wrote down the definition. Number 1, legacy means a gift, especially of money or other personal property. Bequest, for example, she left us $1 million. She left us a legacy of $1 million. Number 2, something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or predecessor, or from the past, the legacy of ancient philosophers, for example, or the war left a legacy of pain and suffering. And in the case of Memorial Day, it left a legacy of freedom. People who were willing to sacrifice for us. That's a legacy. So what I would love for you to be thinking about, and I might ask you to put this in the comments, so just be thinking about that. What is the legacy that you will leave? When I ask this question, sometimes people say to me, well, this house, 5 generations have grown up in this house, and this house is our legacy, and we will pass it down. That always struck me as odd, probably because I have house disconnect. Just move here, move there, moving again. It's time for a change. And I think I've said my children are more upset about my parents' house selling than they are about our house, because that house is more of a legacy type house. But the legacy is not the walls, right? It's not the floors. It's not the yard. It's the people that have lived and loved there. It is the memories that have been made there. It is the type of people that have come out of that house is the legacy, right? And I think that that is really beautiful. So Millie says, faith, hope, and love in the hearts of my family and friends. That is a beautiful legacy, Millie. And I was thinking the same thing. Just the simple fact that when you look up legacy, it starts with a gift. A gift. I want to leave a legacy. I want my legacy to be a gift. Will my legacy be the house that 5 generations grew up in? Nope. Will my legacy be millions of dollars? Probably not. You never know. God's big. What will my legacy be? What will it be that I will leave behind? As I listen to each of the eulogies at each of the funerals and memorial services, and I hear the things that are said about others, I think, what will people say about me? So what I would love for you to do is drop in the comments a word or two, or maybe a short phrase of what you think people would say about you, which is tied into our legacy. It's tied into what we leave behind, right? What will people say about you? Have you ever done this exercise where you ask people to give you, to say a word or two that describes you? I know that's a thing on social media. I see that all the time. People pop in and they say, hey, how do you guys see me? What is something that value that you receive from me in your life? What's a word or two, right? So what do you think would be your word or two, your legacy to the world, how people see you? I'm going to give you a moment to answer that. Jessica says, to be loving and kind towards all. Libby says, I want to leave a legacy of kindness and love in my words and actions and compassion, not comparison. Hello. And compassion to my family and friends. Yes, absolutely. Millie, your legacy is intentional. Start building it now. Yes, Millie. That is absolutely true. And that is exactly why I am doing what I'm doing now. It is exactly why we're making the changes that we're making. It's exactly why I wanted to align with this new opportunity, this new company that is starting, because I want to build it now. And all of the areas where I may have fallen short in the past, right? I don't want to be on a hamster wheel that just spins and spins as each year goes by. It just spins and spins. We watched Last Man Standing. That's my husband's he's recorded all the old episodes, and we're just kind of going through it. We never really watched it when it was on. Maybe it's still on, I don't know. But we're watching episodes. And last night, one of the guys said, or maybe a hamster wheel, because hamsters always seem happy going round and round and round. Like, I always think they seem like they're trying to get somewhere and they never quite get there. I don't want that to be my legacy. I don't want my children to go, oh, there's another thing my mom tried to do. There's another, whatever it is. I don't want to leave that legacy of everybody saying, well, she kept trying, right? She kept trying to whatever, fill in the blanks, unless it is, she kept trying to get closer to God. She kept trying to better herself at every turn. That's a good legacy to leave. I don't think I will ever arrive at my perfect faith. None of us will. That's part of living it. That's learning and growing and moving toward it. I was looking at some of the scripture in Proverbs 20, verse 7 says, the righteous who walk in his integrity, blessed are the children after him. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him and his children's children. And those who come after us, how will they walk? Will they walk with integrity? Will they walk in faith because of the life that you lived? Hamsters are happy in the process. Yes. Millie, in her Wednesday wisdom, is sharing it on Tuesday. So yes, they are. They're happy in the process. They get in the wheel because they like to run, and sometimes I get in the wheel because I like to run as well. Did you guys ever do this? I was thinking about this when I was thinking about like things we leave for others. I just was reminded of 8th grade. Okay. In my 8th grade, before we graduated, we each had to look at the underclassmen, below us and leave them something. And I don't know why. Maybe I found it among all the things that we were going through at my parents' house. I can't remember, but I don't know why it particularly came to mind. But I remember all the way back from 8th grade where mine said, let's say, Carrie leaves behind her lifetime supply of chewing gum and all of her glow-in-the-dark guitar picks. So this is how people saw me. I didn't write it about myself. Other people wrote it about me. Her lifetime supply of chewing gum. I always had chewing gum. Always. The like big red or juicy fruit with the wrappers. And I may or may not have written answers to questions I knew would be on the exams when I was taking my final exams. Maybe. I don't know if that was really a thing. But everybody was used to me. My teachers didn't think twice about me having a pack of chewing gum on my desk because I always was chewing gum. And the other thing was my glow-in-the-dark guitar picks. I bought a guitar case one day and I took it home and there were 5,000 glow-in-the-dark guitar picks that had been shipped in my case that I had purchased. And so, of course, I brought them back to the music store and they were so grateful that I did that because they would never have known what happened to those 5,000 guitar picks, that they gave me a pack of like 200 of them, right? So I had glow-in-the-dark guitar picks everywhere. And I had so many of them all around my room because I'd grab a new one each time I play and they were white or light colored, so they blended with my carpet. They were everywhere, right? One point, I turned off my lights at night to go to sleep. And I noticed that the dust, because, kids don't dust, the dust on my desk was glowing. The dust, like around the base of my lamp, particularly, was glowing. I gathered up all the dust and I put it in one of those film canisters, that the rolls of film used to come in. And I took it to my science teacher and I'm like, check this out. He's like, that's not healthy. So cheers to that. But that is what people thought when they thought of me. They thought, this is what Carrie's going to leave behind. I don't want chewing gum and guitar picks to be my legacy. Don't want it. So how would we be remembered? How would you be remembered? Cindy says, my younger sister t-shirt once it said, Village Elder. That said a lot to me about the legacy. Maybe, yeah, that's great. Unconditional, steadfast love and empathy. Yes, I'm someone you can count on. Dependable. Donna, that's a fantastic legacy. To be that. That to me is something that is missing a lot these days. The dependability, someone that you can count on. And that Proverbs that talked about the righteous who walk in his integrity. And I started thinking about the word integrity because it is one of the accelerators that we talk about in ULA all the time, right? It's oranges, Skittles, and surfboards, right? But at the base of oranges, Skittles, and surfboards are these accelerators that help us get past our blockers. I'll be doing a workshop on it actually at the end of the week. And I wanted to read, before I do a song, about what we say about integrity in ULA. So integrity is doing what's right. It's keeping your word to yourself and others. And I think this whole idea of keeping our word to ourselves is one of the hardest things. I let myself off the hook too easily with things. I'll start a diet, I'll start an exercise plan, and then I don't keep my word to myself. I quit early, or I only go halfway, or I just don't see it to completion. So I am lying to myself. My subconscious realizes it. It understands it. So the next time I want to start a diet or an exercise plan or whatever, my subconscious goes, liar. Right? So keeping our word to ourselves is just as important as keeping it to others. So under promise, it's part of integrity. Under promise, over deliver. And that's the meaning of integrity in our modern day world, right? People promise the world and don't deliver. So I want to be a person who over or under promises and over delivers every time. And those are the people that I've surrounded myself with. It's a beautiful place to be. So it's taking stock of your schedule. And if you look at your schedule and it's too overwhelming when you read it, change it. Because chances are you're not going to get to everything on your schedule. And when you don't get to it, it speaks of integrity, right? So delegate, reschedule whatever you can, and learn to say no and be okay with it, right? That's integrity. It's part of the integrity. So what we are leaving behind. Blessed are the children that come after him. Proverbs 20, verse 7 says, I think it is there that we find our legacy. Who we are, who we choose to be, who we seek to be, and who we intentionally create, right, in our lives. God's given us this beautiful life with which to create beautiful legacies to pass on to those around us and those who will come after us. So today I just want to end with this blessing, and I thank you for hanging with me and talking about legacies this morning. It's this blessing that I would pray over my family for generations to come. Lord, as we end this time together, I just ask you to be with our families, be with those who we love, those who came before us, and those who will come after us. May we do all that we can to show them who you are. You are the protector, the provider. You are the way, the truth, and the life. You are the life that we should seek. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you. Be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. This is the prayer I want to pray over my family. This is Carrie Job's version of the blessing. If you know it, you can sing it with me wherever you are. But pray it in our hearts, over our family, over our loved ones, over our friends, over the generations. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you. Be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. Amen. 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 May his favor be upon you and your children and their children for 1,000 generations. This is the legacy that I want to leave. And this is the legacy that I believe each and every one of us, especially those of you who have popped on here today to hang out for a half hour, this is the legacy we want to leave, right? One of faith, one of hope, and truly one of love, just as Millie said. So yeah, I'm going to go back through and read the comments, but I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to let you go. Tune in tomorrow. And as the banner says, visit faithandreallife.com for more coffee conversations, tea talks, Wednesday wisdom, coffee and cranberry and conversation, all of the things, right? So many opportunities, and invite your friends. It was so beautiful to see so many of you on here this morning who have become friends. And so we just want to ask you to continue to share and grow the ministry. Send me a personal message if you want to come to the workshop, the Beautiful Balanced Living workshop that I'm going to be offering at the end of the week. So I'd love to send you an invite. Just let me know, and have a wonderful, blessed day, and be about building your beautiful legacy. God bless.